Hello BookTube. Today I wanted to do a video about my favorite contemporary fiction books, I guess. These are mostly contemporary fiction. Um, or just my favorite books in general. But these do not have my favorite classics because I did a separate video on that, so check that out. I'll have a little eye thing if I can figure that out. Click on that if you want to watch my favorite classics. So these are not classics, but these are some of my favorite books that I've read. And most of these I think I've read in the past year also. So, yeah. Okay, I don't know why I just winked. Okay, first I have A Tale for the Time Being by Ruth Ozeki. This is a book about a woman who lives in Canada. And she finds the diary of she's a writer, I think. And she finds the diary of a Japanese girl, and she is like enthralled by it. And so it shifts perspectives. So it's one is now, I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry. But and then Ruth, and so it'll every chapter it switches. And so you get the actual diary, and then also Ruth's like reading of it, and it's kind of like a mystery. You're figuring out what's going on. It's not really a mystery, but there's a lot unknown as Ruth reads the diary, and so it's kind of her like learning more about this girl. And yeah, it's very, very interesting. It's well written. It's pretty. I really like the diary, I think, more than Ruth's thing though, and I think that tends to be a problem with like books that shift perspective, is like you're gonna like one better, you know, like you can't help but compare them, so you're always gonna want to like get back to the other perspective. And I think Rincey Reads talks about that a lot. I think I've just seen her talk about that. Anyway, then I have 1Q84 by Haruki Murakami. I have these, so it's a book that's over like 1,000 pages, which I know, that seems really daunting. But I have an edition that's in like 3 volumes, and my mom's reading the first one right now. That's why I don't have the first one. But they all like go together to form like a moon, because a moon is a central part of the book. But that's what the covers look like. And this is about it also shifts perspectives. But this is about a woman who like kills rapists and works with people that are trying to save women that have been abused. So she like murders abusers, and I think that's awesome. It's like I know it's like I would never murder people. Just I guess I have to say that. But it's like a very like badass female lead kind of thing, and like I love her character. And then the other perspective is this guy who's kind of hates himself. He has like definitely like some self-esteem issues, and he's just trying to like get through his life, and he seems like a very like ordinary dude. And then some like magical realism kind of takes over, and I don't want to like spoil anything because it's so good. Murakami's just like one of my favorite writers. Like I think his writing style is so unique and different and beautiful, so I highly recommend it. I also read The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle and The Strange Library. The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle was good, and it has a lot of the similar like magical realism elements, but I didn't like it as much. This is my favorite that I've read of his so far, so highly recommend 1Q84. And I don't know if that's like a play on 1984. I kind of assume that it is, but 1Q84 is what it's called. I can't remember why that is. I don't know. I haven't read it in a while. Anyway, next I have How I Learned to Drive by Paula Vogel. So this is a play. It's about a girl who is dealing with growing up. It's kind of a coming of age thing, and it kind of breaks the fourth wall a lot, and it shifts, like it goes back and forth during time periods and stuff. And the writing is like poetry, and I don't read a lot of plays because I think that plays are kind of meant to be seen, not like read. But I picked this up because I was looking for monologues for a drama class, and I loved it. I think the writing's amazing. The main character is awesome, and yes, I recommend it. It's also kind of like redneck life, I guess. I don't know. but recommend that. And it's short, easy to read. Pick that up. I've talked about this in one of my videos. I don't know which one. But this is The Secret History of Wonder Woman, and it goes into the life of the author who created Wonder Woman. And he lived with 2 women who he was sexually involved with. And because he lived with them and loved them so much, he created Wonder Woman as like a love project for them. So it's a pretty story. There's also like pictures, which I don't think I showed in my other one, but you can see like he also invented the lie detector test, which is kind of cool. So he like talks about that, and that's where like the lasso comes from with Wonder Woman. I could do a whole video on this book. Oh, something fell out. But yes, very good book, and it's nonfiction. Then I have Here, which I've talked about before. This is a graphic novel. It all takes place in the same living room over a period of about 2,000 years. So there's like them watching stuff in a movie in 1973, and then in 1869 you have people like having a picnic. But this is from a different period, this is from a different period, this is from a different period. So it's really cool how you get like all these different like, you're like time traveling. That's what I feel like that book does. It's like time traveling. Okay, next I have Styx Angelica Folk Hero. This is a collection of comics, I guess, by a Canadian author. So it goes into this girl who runs away to Angelica, who runs away to live in the forest with animals, because her dad, she has daddy issues. But she becomes friends with the animals, even though she doesn't really want to, and there's like eels that like tangle themselves up and die that way. It's like kind of morbid, but in like a really pretty way. It's interesting. But there's like a rabbit named Oatmeal that's really cute that falls in love with her, which I think I've said before, but I really loved it. It's very adorable. And then my last book is The Sirens of Titan by Kurt Vonnegut. I've talked about this in my Vonnegut video. Please go watch that. But he is a sort of sci-fi writer. I wouldn't consider him sci-fi, but most people do. And he talks about life and what it's like to be human. And it's really powerful and very easy to read and accessible. So yeah, highly recommend that. Those are all of my favorite books, I guess. So hopefully you get a better sense of the kind of stuff that I really enjoy. These aren't a lot of books that I don't think that I've heard people talk about on BookTube. I don't read a lot of like books that come out currently. Like I'm not one of those people that like anticipates books being released. But these are all books that I've enjoyed pretty much. I think I've read all of these in 2018. Actually, no, that's a lie. But I've read them all recently, so these are my recent favorites, I guess. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what your favorite novels and books and plays and whatevers are. Thanks for watching.